Join us this week for the first webinar, Is a PMS better than an MF? In your investment journey, choosing the right investment product makes all the difference. In this webinar, we'll talk a lot on portfolio management services, mutual funds, the advantages and disadvantages that each one offer. Join us for a comprehensive session on understanding these products and how they can suit your need. This webinar is from 10 AM to 11 AM IST. Are you interested to know how multi-asset funds perform in different markets? The hype has been all about multi-asset funds. Let's take a deep dive into them to see how they can fit your portfolio. This webinar is organized from 11 AM to 12 PM. For the third webinar of the day, we have a 1000 Dreams, One Financial Plan. Financial planning can help you get to your goals in a much efficient and structured way. In this webinar, we'll talk a lot about financial planning and how we can draw a roadmap towards your goals. This webinar is from 11 to 12 AM IST. And lastly, we have a webinar covering beyond ESOPs. If you look at it, a lot of NRIs have their concentration in one company shares, which is their employer. Now let's look at diversifying away from this. This webinar is set at 1:30 PM IST.
Hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talking Straight with Shyam Sekhar. Today we will dive deep into a topic that resonates with everybody and every age group, which is financial independence, and we will break all of it down in this episode. Without any further ado, so we all know that there are several definitions of financial independence that exist. Some people think it's being able to take charge of their own life. Some people think it's having just enough resources to be able to provide for anything. Do you think these definitions are flawed, or do they need to be modified with circumstances?
See, each one has a definition of what is financial independence. If somebody has an aspiration to be giving to society, then he must have far more money than somebody who just wants to have enough money to live for himself. Right? If somebody wants to help an extended family, for him financial independence will be different from somebody who wants to help only a nuclear family. Financial independence for an individual is different from a financial independence of a family person, somebody who has a family to support. So it keeps evolving is what I will say, and it evolves according to your life circumstances, what your priorities are and what your circumstances are. Let's say at an early stage of life, I would think financial independence is about being able to provide for your own life events first. That's the first stage of financial independence. That is, let us say you are able to provide for your marriage or your automobile or your house. Some of these are simple decisions which indicate that you are becoming financially independent. It's not an end state, but I would put it as a milestone. And if you have got yourself educated on a loan, financial independence is freedom from that loan. It's when you repay it fully, you get independence from that liability. So independence is actually a state of mind which gives you more freedom and which improves your ability to become more independent. So it is not an end state. But many people think it is an end state. I would not view it as an end state. I would view even financial independence as a milestone, a stage in your life from which you grow further.
Right. A lot of people in the 20s, they think that financial independence is all about having enough just to fall back on in case of any uncertainty. So they want to pursue something for a certain period of time, have enough resources, and then go on to pursue something that they actually wanted to with that backup. Is that the right way to approach their second career or their second stint in life?
I'm happy that this thought process still remains the same, because when I was 20 also, I would think of a particular number as enough money, like let's say 1 crore rupees is enough money. After that, I can do what I want. I'm not going to be tied down by convention or by responsibility. It's a very idealistic or a very dreamy kind of approach, which is very normal to that age. The question you're asking is probably going to be there forever, because when you are very young, you want to get away from something which you are doing in the present. Maybe when you are in school, you want to be out of school sooner than later. When you go to college, you want to be out of college. And when you join a job, you want to somehow get away from the drudgery of the job. You feel that there is something on the other side which is so exciting that, if you have money, you will go and do that and not do this. Second, there is also a tendency for people in their 20s, and I include myself in that when I was 20, to think that your hobbies are all waiting for you to become financially independent and that you will change your life completely. But in reality, it never happens. Very rarely it happens. It happens only for a very lucky few who get to do their hobby for a livelihood or for a living. But for most people, it's only more of the same in life, even after they get to that number. Okay, for me, nothing changed after I reached 1 crore. In fact, it became more intense of more of the same. So, I would think that that is basically a good thing to focus upon when you are 20. To think that I have to reach a place. So, you are anchored towards a financial goal. And you are moving very fast towards that financial goal. I mean, you are single-minded. So, in that sense, it shows a clear migration from what you would have been earlier in life. Many people are not so clear when they are in the younger years in school or college, become clearer when it comes to money. That clarity comes because it's money actually. So, in that sense, it is good. It's a good goal to have, it's a good focus point, and it's a good milestone that you are trying to reach. But I am not sure that it's anything beyond that. So, you are just anchoring yourself to do something.
So because we're anchoring ourselves, we need to have a certain number in mind, like you said. So is there anything as the perfect number?
For a 20-year-old?
For a 20-year-old.
Today, I think a 20-year-old should think of $1 million, which is today 8.5 crores roughly. So, yeah, what used to be 1 crore in those days, to give you a number, when I set 1 crore as the number, it was $500,000. 2 crore was $1 million. Today it's 8.5, right? So, I think that's a good number to focus upon, because then you need to have a really aggressive career trajectory to reach that. Maybe 8-10 years, it should be possible, I think. See, you should anchor yourself to a number which is going to keep you moving fast and not slowing down. So, in that sense, I think $1 million is a good number even for a 20-year-old. I mean, I would definitely put that as a good starting number. Though it's intimidating when I tell you, but it won't be when you move towards it. That is my point.
Okay. So now, to be able to achieve financial independence is not a cup of tea for everybody. It also has to do a lot with the background, the family that you come from. For a person that comes from a more well-to-do family, they might feed off of their parents' money. And for somebody who comes from a not so well-to-do family, for them it's work from scratch. So, how should each person approach their journey to achieve this?
See, whether you are from a well-to-do family or from a, let us say, middle-class family, right? I think the approach should not be very difficult or different. It should be the same. Simply because you have money to fall back upon, you don't slow yourself down. Basically, I think that a person should be pacing himself well in life. He should be very active and aggressive in how he paces his early years of his life towards a financial goal. And his background should not matter. You think and behave like you are at the starting line and that you have no background. That is how I did it, and that is how I would want any smart person to do it. Because it works. It really works. You don't think about how much your father has in his bank account. You think of how you are going to build your own. That is the right approach to take at that age. That is the approach that will take you to a better place. If you start thinking of what your parents have or grandparents have, I'll tell you a problem in this. I've seen children from very affluent families which are very landed, right? They have properties. The tendency is to always evaluate themselves in terms of the property, and the secondary tendency is to expect when the property will come to them. So they are only waiting. They are not creating anything. In that process, they forget to learn how to create anything. And if you don't create and learn how to create wealth, when wealth comes to you, the odds of your destroying wealth increases exponentially. Right? So even if you are property, in my opinion, you think and act like you are at the starting line. And then you are going to build something as if you had nothing. That I think is the ideal mental construct for everyone.
So there is something that is ideal, but this is not something that works with everybody, right? People always think that they have enough, so whenever they go back to their parents, they will get or they will be given what they need.
It's like a 18-year-old getting a car, an iPhone, the foreign holidays, everything just by having a tea time conversation with one parent, not even two. That's what you're talking about. But that's not how you grow in life. Maybe it's easy, but it's not healthy. So even those who have that ticket in their hand should not use it, in my opinion. You be principled, then you learn an alternate route to everything. And that learning is actually invaluable. And that learning will make you far more successful even when you handle the money or wealth or whatever your parents are keeping ready for you. So one day when it will come to you, because that is also an inevitability. Because they are not going to be able to handle it all your life. Someday you will have to handle it on your own. But because you have handled everything by creating what you wanted for yourself, when you receive something, you are very well prepared to handle what you receive. I think that preparedness is what people who are very well endowed with wealth and who are, generationally rich, that is what they should focus upon. What I am saying is that you have it, but learn how to create it so that what you have will also grow.
Right.
What I am saying may not be popular when I say it. You may say, why should I do all this? It's very natural to think like that. But flip it around and see what will happen if you do it a different way. And then you would actually become a very different person.
Right. So now keeping this tea table conversation in mind, that setting in mind. So as a 23-year-old, I am just about starting to figure out money, trying to see what all I can do. I'm at that stage, or anybody my age is at that stage where they think that I've received my first salary. It's an upgrade for me. I no longer have to run to my parents to ask for money. I can do whatever I want. How long can this spending spree go on? How healthy is it?
See, I keep thinking, what did I do when I first earned money? I didn't have a salary. I had to only make money by investing in shares, trading the shares and making money. So, salary was very insignificant. So, it was even more difficult actually maintaining our lifestyle with that kind of sums of money. So, you try to keep it within an affordable zone. I mean, you are not going to starve or you are not going to enjoy with friends or whatever. You do all that, but you do it in a way which is in line with your financial capacity. See, what happens in today's spending is that the moment you receive a salary, our banker will call you offering you a loan to buy something or something like that. So, you are not just receiving salary, you are receiving credit worthiness. And you become instantly credit worthy. Maybe after 1 or 2 months of salary hitting account itself, they will call you, I presume. Maybe 2-3 months later. So what happens is people start consuming future salary also in the present. Now, when you start doing all this, you stop building anything for yourself. I think that is something you need to avoid. So you live within your means, within what you are earning. And in that also you allocate something for the future. Because you have to have something to show. And I am telling you, I have seen many peers who worked 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, who lived very well when they earned. Because they came from a background which was marked by deprivation or denial. So they just decided that now that we are, in a better place, let us celebrate life. So they would spend and live a lifestyle which I won't call extravagant, but a full life which completely takes away all the earning power. Now that basically stopped them from becoming bigger. You come up from very humble beginnings. No, you come to this level. Must you not go to the next level? So if you have to go to the next level, while you are at a particular level of income, you live well within that income, keeping some money to take you to the next level through investing. I think you are getting the point. Suppose the salary is, let's say a person's salary is, I'm just giving for a number. Suppose a person's salary is, let's say 40,000. He may not need 40,000 to spend. He may need probably half of that. If he or she is living with parents, right? Even if you spend well. So cap your expenditure and the rest of it you need to save. And you will not touch that saving no matter what. So you should have that resolute approach where you don't take an investment and put it into consumption. But if you are able to consume less, what you save because of lower consumption should go into investment. So it's like a membrane through which only one direction money will pass, in the other direction it will not pass. So you have to have a mental construct like that. So you will live well also and you will do this also. I think that is what a 22 or 23-year-old like you should do. I mean, that is what you should think of doing, ideally.
Is it safe to say that the spending spree should go on as long as the earning spree is on? Because
no, I told you, you spend within a certain limit of your earning. So suppose you are earning 100, you try to spend up to 40 or 50. That is my point. You can spend. If your earning goes up and you want to live well, why not? I am not going to sit on judgment on that. But after saving a 50% or 40% for 1 year, you start thinking that my income has gone up. Why don't I increase the absolute savings? So my lifestyle will go up only by a certain extent. My income goes up more than my lifestyle goes up. So I am able to save more. Let's say 40,000 goes up to 60,000. I am just giving some numbers. And you are earlier spending 20. You don't take your spending to 30 or 40. You see whether you can spend 20 to 25. Then your saving goes up by a significant amount.
so, but this to be able to save mindset is not so common. Even among my peers, it is not very common because this is the time when they're earning their own money and they're able to feel their aspirations. So they want to procure whatever they want to.
See,
Whenever
whatever
they
you
like.
procure, I'll tell you, lot of things which I procured as, price-set possessions in life. Like, those days a very good music system was a price-set possession. You don't need it. Your phone is your music system. Maybe you will buy these AirPods, which is very expensive. Maybe you will buy, what do you call that, the Apple Watch or stuff like that. See, actually, you realize after a few years that they were not really a necessity. If you ask me where all those things that I bought as such possessions went, I don't even know. I keep asking myself, where is that thing I bought? I spent so much money on this. Where is it? Whom did I give it to? I don't even remember. Right? But in the present, you are so into it, right? You badly want that whatever 14 or 15 iPhone, which costs some very high amount of money, whereas you would get the same, literally the same specs for maybe 30-40% cheaper in some other good brand. But at that point for you, the brand consciousness takes away more of your mind share. So you need to basically position your aspirations correctly. That's all there is to it. So it's like buying a car. In our office also, everyone wants to buy a car. Personally, I don't know what is so great about buying any car for that matter. It depreciates. You spend a lot of money on it. You use it sparingly. Right? So what is this obsession? So you should do it more when you have too much money. When you have limited money, you will have to ask yourself whether it's a priority.
Fair.
Every person, including the two people sitting and shooting this video, you ask them, what do you want to buy? They will say car. Right? But yeah, you buy, no problem. But should it be such a thing that you do more towards buying a car than investing towards building a corpus? I think that sense of mixed priorities are not advised. I would not advise it. So that's the thing.
So I feel like a lot of people our age need to be inculcated with this thought of wanting
Yeah, and
to
second,
build
everyone
corpus.
wants to buy only a new car. And nobody wants to buy a second-hand car which comes at half the price. See, today, most of the cars you go to buy have run only 50,000 to 1 lakh kilometers. Suppose a car has, even 50,000 is a very high number, 30, 40,000. And you will get it at a significant discount to a new car. A 40,000 car is good to run another 1,50,000 kilometers at least. If you buy for 4 years, 5 years, you don't have to change it. But in your mind, you think that if you buy it, people will think lowly of you. For that, you spend hell a lot of money more. For what joy? And you buy this new car, 3 months later, your car has depreciated immediately. So, why don't you take somebody's depreciated car, which is in a good shape, and live with it, because you wanted a car only, no? What value is that showroom ribbon and photograph? Later you realize that you can't even put it out. Now, if I go and take a costly car, I can't put that out anywhere. It's embarrassing actually.
As engaging as it's been to break down the whole concept of financial independence, we will continue further in part 2.